Is happening, guys? It's Travis. We're back with another Hero's Journey YouTube live stream. And in this Hero's Journey YouTube live stream, we're checking out two classics, two instant classics that I'm lucky enough to have in studio right here. And I appreciate everyone because this is a late night stream. And let me just make sure my audio and video is doing okay. And it is quite good. I will take that. So, guys, after having the ridden the two fish like exclusively for a while now, I do think it's an epic board. And what's funny is I've been able to acquire the Machadocado again for a little bit. So shout out Firewire. It's always much appreciated. But what's interesting, I think, about the Machadocado is right when I got on it, I realized that compared to the two fish, it is pretty, is this going to say? Pretty tight. Pretty tight. Now, I don't mean that it is like you're riding like the tightest, craziest board ever. But compared to the two fish, because what happens is I think you get super used to the two fish and you're just like the flowy lack of center fin, etc., is just pretty wild. And what happened is when I caught the first wave on the Machadocado that had been a while since I'd surfed the Machadocado, right away I felt the back fin. So I felt this back fin down here, and it didn't feel that good. I mean, it was, because I'm so used to the two fish lack of back fin. Now, that back fin, it ain't that big. It's pretty small. And what's funny is like it really does add a lot of extra hold to the board, which I think makes it a better daily driver for sure. But the two fish, once you get used to no center fin and you really dial in the flow, how it feels, etc., it's pretty just unbelievable. is the bottom line. And what I've realized is that, like I made in a recent short, once you go twin fin, it's hard to go back. It's borderline impossible. And it's pretty interesting to me because like I grew up not really riding twin fins. I didn't understand their appeal for the most part. But then once it clicks, once you truly get the twin fin feel, I'm just checking the audio again because I'm having a little bit of internet issues. Oh, it looks great actually. Oh yeah, we're in. Looks amazing per usual. But once it clicks, like once the click of the twin fin actually happens and you really figure it out, it is hard to go back to a thruster, even a 2+1 thruster. But what's super interesting is that, I thought the Machadocado is my perfect surfboard. But after really dialing in the two fish, I've realized the two fish is my perfect surfboard. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm talking ish on Mikado right now because I'm not. But it's very interesting how even weeks or months can really change how you think of a surfboard, how you think of surfing. And what I've always thought in my surf career is kind of set it and forget it. Like when you're making deals or your investments, like set it, forget it, let it rise. But with surfing, we're at a point in time now where you don't really have to set and forget it. We have so many options in the landscape of surfing. And this is these are two different models from the same shaper, Rob Machado. But they actually are very different. And let's go over a few of the differences right now. So the main difference, as I already said, is the twin fin versus three fins. Now let's zoom in a little bit here. Get you guys a close and personal. Because I want to really go a little deeper here into the land of the two fish and the Machadocado. So you think that the twin fin, just because it's a twin fin, is gonna like ride super different. And that is true. That is true. But it's also just the nature of the style of fins and how big fins are. So the KS fins I have in here right now in the two fish, they're pretty big. I mean, they're bigger than the Machado 2+1. Because there is no center fin, they can be bigger. Now, say these were like twice as big. Would this board still be super flowy? I mean, maybe actually. Because really, what makes a twin fin, the twin fin feeling, almost isn't necessarily the fins, it's the lack of fin right here. That's what I've learned a lot in the last year or two about what people mean when they say tracky on a tri-fin, because they're so used to the flow of the twin fin that any additional thing added right there is a lot. Even like a nub adds a lot. So I'm actually interested to try the KS twins in the Machado Cado board, because I think these with the small nub could be money in this thing. So that'll be an interesting experiment, I think, because the Machadocado, to me, I love Rob's fin setup on these, but it's funny how it is super noticeable how much stiffer the board is than the two fish. But the fin isn't that big. I mean, this little Rob fin down there, it's not big. It's a little guy. Like how could this little fin cause that much commotion? Just a little guy. Just a little guy right there. But somehow this little fin right here ends up creating so much more hold on the entirety of the back of the board. Just that little guy right there, and it's pretty unbelievable. Now, one thing I will definitely say is like getting back on the Machadocado, it's for sure more grovelly than I remember. Like it's let me see, get this thing up here. It is like pretty longboardy is the word. Like one of the waves recently, I like got way up on the nose of the Machadocado, and I was super impressed because I was like, I was up I was way up like here. Like I was up above the wax line. And it was crazy because like I don't remember it being I mean, I do remember it being an ultimate mega groveler because I remember like in my first Machadocado video, um, I called it a longboard killer, and I still do stick with that. But like after riding like the sweet potato and the two fish, it's like, all right, well, there are kind of other options that maybe are better like mega grovelers. Shout out Tommy Surfs. But hopping back on the Machado Cado and even looking at the shape again, you remember like actually, you know what? This board kind of is a mega groveler. It's pretty gargantuan. And you know, so I was standing right here longboarding. Like I put my front foot right here because I remember I was like, I'm not on the wax anymore. And my foot went right here. And the board was not sinking. It was going amazing. And, I just actually dropped a video a second ago because I had a HE double hockey sticks at the time. Getting a video up today, I tried to do like two different live streams on these Solite booties update, and I had like internet issues at the wazoo. But what I wanted to kind of like get out there in the land of the internets is like I was kind of wrong with the Solite booties, and I feel bad because I jumped the gun. I wanted to, I guess be a hater. And then today I wore the socks, and it was night and day. Go watch my last video about how the socks they make the Solite boots amazing. But I had the socks and the Solite boots on the Kato, and like it felt like I was on a mix of the mashup mixed with the two fish and the sweet potato. And when I kind of clicked, I was like, all right, well, the Machadocado is actually like, even though it might not feel like as mega fast and as flowy as the two fish, it actually is somewhat better of a daily driver. Um, because it can take anything you can throw at it. And there was a couple waves, like it's a little more of a standard thruster on like a backside when you're pumping up and down. It's gonna have a little more hold for when you're still trying to figure out the twin fin. Like for me, I've kind of figured out the twin fin now, where like when I'm going backside, I don't fall into like the category where I'm struggling. It actually is very natural, and I really like it. But the Machadocado, just that little back fin, that little extra hold, in just the tail being the squash tail and the nose, it's more high performance in the end than the two fish. So the pumping action up and down, backside and even front side, it's like a little more of a skateboard tic tac, kind of like the mashup, but not as crazy. Um, but you're working the board more, whereas on the two fish, you're kind of just like letting it do its thing, and you're trying to just hold on for dear life. Let's check out the comments. If you guys could please smash the like, hit that subscribe. Means a lot. We're almost to 2,500 subscribers, and that's going to be pretty amazing thing because 2,500 is the bee's knees. So let's get a slightly different angle here. See how this looks. That is a little too close. A little too close. Oh boy. Catastrophe. Catastrophe. 1 second, y'all. There we go. We saved the day. Day saved. Day saved. There we go. That was a close call. That was a close call because I have my Ulanzi fan on the back of the camera, and the Ulanzi fan keeps the stream going because the camera can get a little hot, but the Ulanzi fan keeps that thing pristine. So let's continue to talk about these two boards in this late night stream. I should be out hitting the town, you know, meeting my future ex-wife, but I'm not. I'm in here in the studio, giving y'all what you want. I'm dedicated. Dedicated. I'm a fearless leader in the surfboard space. I don't have a life. A life? What's that? My life's right here on the YouTube. Real world sucks. I'm over it. Digital world, let's go. Pixels, screens, I'm all in. I'm all in. I've given up. Real world, it's not for me no more. Digital Travis is here. I only go outside to go surfing, buy my cilantro for my super smoothie, then I'm back. And I'm back on the internet, ready to become famous. That's my whole goal. Gotta get famous. Gotta get famous. So we have Mark in the chat. Mark is he's catching up to Migsy as the MVP celebrity subscriber. Mark says he's looking forward to this. Well, we're already filming. Mark, we're here. He finds the Machado trailer is great when the waves are a little bigger, but when it's chest high or under, he likes to put a smaller trailer in, frees up the tail. Well, Mark, thank you, because I'm going to try. See if I can find it real quick. I'm gonna try something. There it is. So, yes, Mark, my plan is I'm thinking. Why are they in here? Oh, there's. Thinking this guy. Thinking the little endorphin could go right in there. Oh, it is smaller. Okay, so Mark, which trailer? I can never say that word anymore. Which one do you use? Because I think this could be gold. Let's see. Oh, it is oh, wow. Okay. Yep. Wow, that's gonna be the move. So I'm definitely gonna try this next. I'm gonna try the two Rob sides with the KS trailer, and it's a good amount smaller. This could be the money because I think the nub on the KS endorphins is it's just too small. I mean, maybe it could work, but the nub's just a little guy. And to me, when I put this in the sweet potato, it didn't do nothing really. And I think this would perform better on like a real twin fin that has a back fin box. I don't think Rob set this up to be like a twin fin. It's supposed to be a 2+1 with a slightly bigger trailer. We'll see what Mark says. Mark, any updates on that thing? I'm thinking this guy, and then maybe even the KS fins. But for now, just to have to switch fins. I'm definitely trying this in here next sesh. So that will be cool. Let's see if I can put this up here without this thing falling over. This is probably going to fail miserably. Oh. Well, we'll see. I'm pretty scared. But we'll keep it going. This is live TV. We're on live TV. We'll do it live. It's a catastrophe. Complete catastrophe. I see what Mark has to say. The stream's just already going to ish. It's a late night stream, guys. So Mark says Mark's saying future ex-wife surfing his life. Of course, yes. He's not sure what back fin he uses it, but it's the same one Mike Raven put in when he changed his mind on Mikado. Mike Raven, if you're watching, let me know which back fin you put in the Mikado to make it super litty. Mark says he thinks the Shark Tooth Endorphins trailer would be great. He will try it as well and report back. Perfect. Perfect, Mark. Thank you. Thank you. I think so too. I think this could be liquid gold. Could be gold here. Because it's super light. These are like I said. I mean, they won the two fish battle. The two fish has the side fins in there. Not even the fins that Rob's the board comes with. So I know it's kind of blasphemy. But hey, I need to do my best to be honest with y'all. Um, and Mark said that he thinks that Mike Raven, shout out, friend of the channel. He is the only person that has a better quiver than me. Says he thinks it was the Alpha 2+1. Yeah, I think so too. Maybe. That's a future fin, right? Alpha 2+1. BRB. I'm gonna grab a quick drink. The show sponsor. Hit like, hit subscribe. Need money. All right, the show sponsor today. Topo Chico. It's refreshing. No drugs in here. Can you say the drugs on the internet? I don't know. It's good for you. It's good for you. It's Mexican. You think it's from like a lake in Mexico. I mean, can't really beat that. So let's get back to the show. I'm just dying of thirst. And I still haven't made my super smoothie today. So my neighbors are not gonna like when I'm popping that blender up and here soon it's gonna be loud. They're not gonna like that. So I'm gonna get the endorphins ready because I want to remember to do that. But the endorphin back fin in the Kato is gonna be the next experiment. I will report back, let you know, but it could be gold because I think I've reached the point, like I've already beaten to death here, that like I'm a twin fin guy now. I've devolved, or evolved. I'm not sure, but I'm seeing a lot of like progressive servers, people that only ride like potato chip surfboards, going to the twin fin too, and really liking it. And maybe it's an age thing. Maybe as you get older, you prefer like the looser, easier surfing. Um, because really, it's an easier surf, the twin fin. Um, you're going faster. The board's generating speed. You're not having to generate speed as much, so you kind of are able to surf lazier. Um, that's what I've noticed with the Machadocado today. Was like it felt like I was just like surfing very progressively, very aggressively, and it felt like I was on like a pod mod, which I love because it's like I feel like right at home on the pod mod, and it has a little bit more bite. And again, once I put the socks in the Soleil booties, and I stood up and went down the line today, I had a like, oh, thank God moment. Like, this is working. This feels good. Like, I was pretty blown away. I did not think socks and booties would do anything. I thought it'd be like the weirdest thing ever. Somehow, and Mark, have you done that yet? Like, I don't know, Mark, if you watched my recent video, but I had the Solite. I had a new revelation, and I wore the socks and the Solite booties, and it was the bee's knees. It actually felt really great. And I think now I might even prefer them over the XL dry locks. Maybe if you wore the socks in the dry locks, it would actually be good as well. Maybe the socks is like the, what's the word? The linchpin of the surfboard, the booties in your foot. Um, but I think that it's crazy because like in the Solite description for the booties, they kind of like say to wear the socks to mold them for sure, and then maybe wear them to surf. But nowhere on the internet are people like the socks make the booties feel better. It's all about you wear the socks to put the booties on and off, and it works better. But I found it interesting. No one is talking about like why they actually perform better with the socks, and I think it's for a few reasons. But the main reason that I think it does work better is because you have a layer of like neoprene essentially. It's almost kind of like a liner in a sock and a shoe. Like it seems counterintuitive to have an extra sock under a sock or a liner of sorts, but that's what the socks are. They're a liner. Even think about like a pool liner, like some kind of surface in between two surfaces can help friction. It can help just so much. Or think about like a bed topper, like a topper on top of your bed, like some kind of extra layer in between something and something else can create like a level of a lack of friction. I think that's what was happening with the boots without the socks was like my foot was moving around, couldn't really like get its footing in the booty. But now that it's in a sock, it kind of like the sock's getting the footing, and because it's more expanded, it fits the booty better. So again, I was stoked because I got to ride the Machadocado and like really surf the board, and it felt really amazing. And I was like, praise him, like pray hallelujah. So let's check out what Mark has to say. So Mark's saying, um, he thinks he's too much of a kook to be able to put a board on rail without at least something in the middle of the board. Twins don't seem to work for him. He did have a Big Baron, which was a good twin. The Big Baron's for sure like a staple that I see all over the place now, and I have a lot of friends that surf really well that have the Big Baron, and it kind of is like their introduction to mid lengths. My one friend surfs in Indonesia, and he surfs like Uluwatu on the Big Baron, so it's definitely a sick board. Um, I can't, and Mark's never worn booties. I can't believe it, Mark. It's unbelievable. Never worn booties. Doesn't get cold enough there. But a bodyboard's a grommet with socks and fins. Yeah, I saw your comment, Mark, and then that's an amazing point. Is like when you wear flippers without socks, it kind of sucks, but then with socks, it actually is pretty awesome. So I think that's kind of what's going on. But what I found so crazy was like the grip was somehow enhanced. Like I don't know how, but I promised somehow the booty on the board, it felt night and day. Like it was like it couldn't even, they didn't feel like the same booties. I feel like I had completely different booties on, and I was like, wow, okay, so light. Like I'm not gonna delete my video because to me the whole YouTube channel is kind of like the hero's journey. It's almost a diary of sorts, and I'm allowed to like make mistakes and have opinions that change, and you don't want to like erase your history. So it's important to see the evolution of what you're doing and who you are. Um, and just be yourself, man. Just be yourself. It's key to life. Don't be yourself. That's the worst advice. Like, is to be yourself. Like it's. I know it's deep. It's deep, but you want to be true to yourself. But being yourself ain't gonna like get you anywhere. Like being yourself doesn't equal success. Um, you can be authentic and you can do your best, but you can't expect the world to congratulate you or to reward you or to like succeed just by being yourself. Like the world doesn't owe you nothing. Um, so it's bad advice. Good advice is to do your best and be your best self, and then you don't expect an outcome just because you are being yourself. Um, but yeah, I think that's some of the worst advice about on these internets when people are like, "How do I succeed in life?" or "How do I get girls?" Oh, be yourself. Well, actually, no. Like, what if you're some fat dude in the basement who eats hot Cheetos and plays video games? Like, being yourself isn't gonna like maybe if you're David Goggins, then like being yourself might be something, but it's it's always good to be aware of like how you're viewed because you never know how you look from other people's eyes, as the lyrics go. So you might as well like try to gauge how it is you look, how you appear, and then try to fix yourself a little bit. Try to become like a slightly better version of yourself. And that's kind of how like surfboards are and surfing is like you never are gonna like Machadocado like just be yourself and just like surf how you're supposed to surf. Like no, maybe you need to have a certain different wax. Maybe you need to have certain booties, or maybe you need the wetsuit to be thicker, thinner. Maybe the wave needs to be bigger or smaller. Like you can't blame or expect the Machado Cado to be itself in pipeline or to be itself in a lake. So a lot of it's like adaptability, and that's why I think surfboards and surfing is like a good metaphor just for life because it's like a constant journey, a constant learning. One year the Machado Cado is your favorite board, one year the Two Fish is your favorite board. So Um, yeah, I digress. Let's get back to the stream here. You guys are sick of me yapping. Mark says authenticity is the currency of the future, mate. Just have to call it as you see it, and people will appreciate it. True that. And yeah, I think like authenticity I view as being different than being yourself. Um, because like being yourself has a level of expectation, whereas like authenticity is just what you are without expectation. Because usually when you ask for advice, most people won't say like be authentic. That's actually good advice, like be authentic. But like you can't expect to succeed in business just by being authentic. So it's like what's the goal of being authentic? Um so like I think on YouTube, um being yourself could be a good thing, but at the same time like you can be authentic and still have like a level of personality or like a level of character. I mean, even like me right now, like I am trying to be my best self, but also it's like kind of a Travis Varga has kind of become like a character, like as someone of like a caricature of myself. Because I was in this be myself, I wouldn't even be filming right now. I'd be like just trying to sit and like not produce because like producing and creating is like an act. It's not really like a person or a being. It's like a wave. It's like a movement. So I'm creating right now and I'm being authentic with my creation, but I'm actually like kind of outside of myself, looking in, being authentic, and then producing art with that. It's like kind of funny because it seems so counterintuitive, but I've thought a lot about this, and it's just funny how, long story short, it's when someone says just be yourself. It's like a lot deeper than that because it's people have expectations and people think they know you, and they. It's just kind of funny once you start going a little deep, and you can start going crazy. The bottom line, you turn into a crazy person like me. So Mark says, um, Yeah, Mark, I think that like you should try booties. I mean, it's crazy that you've never worn booties, like because it definitely gets a little cold where y'all are at. But I know what you mean. Like there's people in San Diego. Well, it's not where I live. Don't edit that out. But there's people who are kind of in these areas where it's like booties are somewhat optional. And like there'll be people like I met someone the other day when I actually scooped a new 4.3 Hyper Freak because I'm addicted to them and like a nice fresh one to finish out the season here. Um, yeah, he was like, yeah, we were talking about the Soleil booties, and he was like, yeah, I've never worn booties. Like this is the first year I've worn booties, and he's probably 20 years old. Like a lot of guys don't wear booties, and to me, it's just like kind of nuts because the water gets cold enough where your feet get cold, and like it definitely affects the performance. It affects how your feet stand on the board. Um, so like I think that once the water gets to be in the below 60, you actually will surf better with booties, but you just have to get over the learning curve. And then my kind of thing is like once the booties go on for the season, I try to keep them on because going back and forth, that's what messes me up. And having the booties, it does kind of suck a little bit, but then by the end of the time you take them off, you get reused to the barefoot. And I always just want to be more warm and want to be more comfortable. And even stuff like when your feet are cold, you kick your foot on the fin or on something, it can cause more damage because your foot's cold and like numb. The booty kind of is protection. And when your foot's warmer, it doesn't get as injured as easily as when it's colder. So I had a friend who actually kind of like slid his foot off and like hit the swallowtail. And like right after that session, like went and bought booties, and then he's been in booties the whole season since then. So it almost takes like an injury or some kind of thing to make you realize like, oh, maybe I should wear booties because my feet are white and numb. It's affecting the surfing slash injuries could happen more. So another reason that I think you probably want to go like Machadocado over two fish, even though if I had to pick one right now and not look back, I would go two fish. Is if you're someone like Mark who is saying that he's not the most privy to the twin feeling, and you know if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like you get to a point in your surf career where it's like you kind of just want to get wet. You want to surf. You don't want to finagle and figure stuff out. Like, I mean, I can't even believe I even got to the twin fin capabilities I'm at now because for so long I just was like, nope, I'm not a twin fin guy. So, and even with other fins, I would usually just ride the same fins in every board, and I was a lot less experimental. Um, but now I actually appreciate like experimenting and stuff. So it's kind of like how you're feeling about it. But if you Mark, if you have to go buy the groceries and you have the kids and the family, it's like you don't have the time to experiment. You want to go surfing at 2 p.m. every Thursday and you just want to get out there and have fun and then go home. I think that's kind of why surf pools and wave pools are actually like kind of going to change the whole game because there's going to be people that they want to surf every day at 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And like they don't want to have to mess around with what's the swell, what's the tide, what's the winds. It's going to be treated more like going to the gym. And fair enough. I think that's like a perfect, perfectly fine, great thing. And that's like the number one reason why surf parks are going to become like really successful and really big is because of affluent people who just want to surf and not want to play games. Soon it will be open to like the lay person, I think, and like it's going to be more affordable. But for a while, it is going to be more of like a high end gym that if you get the membership and you don't want to play no games, you hit the surf park 3 times a week. That's whatever price it is, but you're paying for the peace of mind of like good waves, no wild animals. You know the type of waves, you know the type of board you need. It's like it's taking away a lot of variables that make the sport harder when it's not like on your main to-do list. It's just an activity you like doing. You want to knock it out, get back to the wife and kids or to the job. And it's going to be interesting to see like how surf parks slowly become like ski resorts or skateboard parks. And at one point, maybe even get saturated. So it'll be pretty cool to see the rise of them. But so I'm gonna say for like the normal for a normie, the Machadocado is the better option because it's gonna ride more like a normal board everyone's used to, and it's super gravelly enough where it actually has become like a mega groveler, where I really for a while was like almost forcing it to be. But today's session really solidified like, oh wait, this board is a groveler. It's a daily driver, but it's a lot more of a groveler than the mashup. Um, because of the thin, fat tail, it just does such a good job of like staying on the wave and giving you the kind of like the hold you need, but also still being somewhat pivoty and somewhat up and down and Huntington hop pump down the line. The the Machado Cotto, it pumps really well. That's like one of its um like superpowers. It's just really fun to pump down the line because you have this bit of hold. There's a double swallow. Or is it a double swallow? Well, there's a belly right here, that's for sure. Um so it's not flat, it's not scooped. Not swallow, sorry, a concave. So it's a big concave right here. And then it gets flat right there. But it's crazy. It's crazy how it happens before this fin. And it's mainly right here. Is like I call it a belly. The Varga board has like a big belly right there. And I think what the main like properties of this belly, this indention, is it pivots back and forth from side to side of the board. Um, whereas the two fish, it has like it has a concave here, not a up. It's scooped. So it's kind of more of a flow as opposed to a pump. So if you surf in the 1990s, you're used to the pump. And that's kind of just the typical thruster feel. Mark says you're spot on about the Kato. It flies when you go top to bottom down the line. Yeah. That's the most fun part about it is the Kato, just the pump, kind of like your Corey Lopez. You're just in the Corey Lopez pump, and then it can like engage. Whereas the two fish, you're kind of more. You are pumping, but it's less of like a forceful pump. It's kind of like a glide up and down. Because you can still pump on the two fish, but it's definitely like just a way flowier feeling. Um, the noses on these boards too. I've realized like on that last session, they're very similar. Well, actually, the Machado Cotto nose is almost wider, um, which I didn't really realize till just now. And even yeah, it's wider. So the the two fish in the Machado Cotto, actually, when you start really looking at them, they aren't even that different from here to like here in terms of the width and how he keeps it wide. But he actually brings the nose in more on the two fish. The Machado Cado, it's kind of more like a sweet potato. This is borderline more like the mashup. I think Mark, you might have even said that in the last stream, that the mashup has a good amount in common with the two fish up here. And that's what was crazy when I rode on the nose today on the Machado Cado. I was like, oh wow, I'm like nose riding this. But the two fish, I don't think I can get as high up there. What's interesting though, as well, is the two fish does seem to be a little thicker and it doesn't get as thinned out by the nose and by the tail. Like the tail's thin, but the tail on the Machado Cado is like razor blade thin. And it's kind of like more gargantuan than I remember. I mean, it's like before I got the Machado Cado for this kind of like borrow session. Shout out Firewire again. Thank you guys so much for your support. Um, like I remember it being more like the mashup, and now riding it this time, I was like, oh, it's kind of more like the sweet potato, and then the two fish actually doesn't seem as gargantuan. That's the word of the stream as the Machado Cado, which is funny because like the Cado felt in my memory kind of like a bloated shortboard, not in a bad way, just in a descriptive way, like a bloated shortboard. And the two fish was like a mid-length of a supersized fish or a mid-length fish. But then like riding the Machado Cado again, and they're pretty much very similar size, 5'10", 5'11", 5'11". I was like, oh wow, the two fish is actually like pretty nimble. And the swallow, the deep swallow kind of tricks you, and you kind of are like, um, you're like, hold on, I thought the two fish was bigger than the Machado Cado. So that's interesting. How the two fish bottom. I'll even show you really quick. So the bottom width of the two fish, it does look wider, but it kind of like isn't. It really isn't that much wider. It's very similar, but it seems wider because each part of the swallow is like so wide. So that was interesting to me because I really expected the. What happens too is actually so he takes the two fish and he makes the nose. He kind of it's almost kind of more like the seaside. Whereas the Cado he kind of like he keeps the width the whole way. The two fish wants to do this kind of like enlarged to the nose and then get skinny again. The Cado almost just like stays wide and then just keeps wide, kind of like the sweet potato. Oh nice, we got Big Migsy's in the chat. Migsy, what's cracking? Thanks, Migs. Thanks, Migs. And Migs, just so you know, I do have the sweet potato review is in the works. I just have to edit the clips before the live stream, and it's a little bit of a process. And I kind of just started a new gig, so this week has been mental. and you don't want to know what time it is in my time zone right now. And we'll probably have to like not go too much longer because I do have to get a super smoothie. And I want to go to bed at a decent time. So just so you know, Migsy, I want to keep streaming here for a while, but I do need to try to um not stay up way too late because your boy's dying. It's been a rough couple weeks in a good way. Um, but yeah, but the sweet potato review is coming. I just need to sit down, edit some clips, and the goal is to like get the clips all ready, and then we can kind of go through real time, watch the clips, talk about the board. I think it's gonna be really cool because it'll be like have a new experiment, a new fun format. Um, and really, it's like I'm kind of at the point now where, like with my new gig and just doing a lot of editing, so a lot of these videos are probably gonna be more live streams, more one takes, especially more live streams because I enjoy the format. We can keep kind of building up the community, and it's kind of I think it's the future of YouTube and the future of like streaming. Like this is a lot more engaging. And I kind of have the technology now where like for a live stream, the quality is actually freaking amazing. And I'm not even tooting my own horn. It's like the biggest live streamers in the world have pretty much as good as this. Like I watch people and like mine looks pretty amazing. So I'm kind of the ish, is what I'm saying. I'm kind of a big deal. So Migsy says, samurai editor. True, Migs, true. Um, Mark says he needs to get some sleep to try the new fins on the Kato. Mig says he got the Kato with him. And he just finished surfing it in his car. Well, there you go. That's perfect timing, Migs. Perfect timing. Because Migs, we were talking about using this fin in the back as opposed to Rob's fin, because I think in smaller waves it could be a little looser. Because what's happened to me is I've gotten too used to the two fish, and it's turned every thruster into I'm on train tracks. So the two fish has potentially ruined my surfing forever. Um, but it don't matter because it's such a fun fast board. And even like the Album Twinsman, which is a twin fin, like that's the board that taught me like, oh wow, if a board's shaped a certain way and you have a certain kind of twin fin, like there's actually almost no need for a tri fin. Because I rode the Twinsman in like the biggest swell this past winter, and it's become my big wave board. And it's just so crazy how I would have never in a million years be like, oh, my Twinsman is my big wave board. Like, how can a twin fin be a big wave board? Doesn't make sense. Well, actually, yeah, it makes sense because the game done changed. Yeah. So, but Migsy says, yeah. He says, yeah. Well, true. Oh, nice, brother. Nice. Well, Mark, don't let us hold you too long if you need to get your beauty sleep. Um, please gator done if needed. But I think that like for me again, it's we've gotten to the point now where it is kind of hard to have like the one board Quivakilla, and varieties fun, etc. And like these are actually two boards that are pretty unique, but they ride different enough for like they serve totally different purposes. They both sit in the same like groveling category, but they surf so different where it's like it's nice. It's really nice having both. Like today, the waves were like today actually was like going off. I might be able to find one clip. Let's see if I get. It might be too much to do right now, but I got one really good left that like baby light my fire. Like I felt like I was in the doors and like my fire was just lit, and I did like 5 or 6 turns, the booties of the socks felt great, and I was like, oh, nice, like oh, this is the Machado magic, like this is the Machadocado magic, where it's holdy, it's drivey, it's doing everything you want, and it's hard to explain, but it's kind of just like a unique, nice feeling that um like the two fish has, but that extra drive sometimes is a little nice. That's the point. The extra whole drive, there's something to it, a bit of bite, like a bit of bite, a bit of aggression with the turn. It's not as loosey goosey. It's a little more of a Sonny Garcia type of serving. So Migsy says, oh wait, Mark says he can confirm the smaller trailer in the Kato was a revelation on smaller waves. Works so well. Yep, so I'm gonna try. That's my goal. Migsy says he's the smallest trailer in the Kato, and it's amazing. We all are getting me stizzoked. Migsy says Travis is the best surfer reviewer ever at the moment. Well, thanks, sir. Appreciate that. Um, we'll just say ever at all time. He's the best surfboard viewer, the most handsome, the greatest, the coolest, and the best person in the entire world. Well, thanks, Mixie. So nice of you. So nice of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Very nice. A little much, but thank you. Mixie says he gives me the OG status on the format. Simply the best, sir. And true mark 100. Well, thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Thanks. Um, well, it's funny. Like I've seen in other YouTube categories, like once the people started pivoting to the live streams, and then they kind of like got used to them. If people start engaging with them, it's like it ends up being the best content because um yeah, there's just something about it. It's hard to explain. It's because you can have like longer form content, and because like you don't have to edit it, it becomes and it's live. It like adds a level of nuance and forced participation from like me and from y'all kind of in terms of like being in the moment, and then I have to like keep yapping. I can't not yap because we're live, we're on live TV. But like if I'm filming a published video, I can like stop, think for a sec, hit record, it stop. It actually is less authentic. So live streaming has become kind of like the last like truest art form of like someone having it's kind of like going to a theater now and watching a theater. Um, like it could be the same Broadway play, but like it can still be amazing because like it's live in real time and it's actually happening like in the world. So it's just kind of a cool I think it's why that Twitch has gotten so popular because like Twitch is all about live streaming. So everyone on Twitch is just live streaming, but it's a huge platform and people love to kind of just engage in real time. It's almost like a digital hangout or something. Um Mixie says bullseye. Travis is Travis is a funny guy. Two wild and crazy guys. Um. Oh, so Miggsy also sold the Revo. So everyone's selling the Revo, and my claim of best board of 2024 is quickly becoming a uh, a mark on my record, a mark of disdain, a mark of shilling. People, the crowds are upset. Everyone's in an uproar that I've shilled so hard and maybe even lied to my audience about the Revo Max. And I apologize. I was paid the big bucks to say it's the best board ever, and I sold out. And I'm sorry, but I did it for the money. But I'm just joking, obviously. But well, not obviously, but I really do think it's an amazing board, and I think that it's funny how yeah, serving just super subjective, and like that's why I'll never like try to push a board on no one or like, hey, this board's cool, like maybe try it. But like you realize like your favorite board, someone else is gonna hate it, and it's their favorite board, you're gonna hate it. And it's you can be the same body type, even surf similar, but it's just such a subjective thing, and that's what's nice. We do have tons of options, but I can't, y'all can't expect me to like the same board that you like. And I think that's what makes making surfboards challenging is because they don't know what's gonna sell or not sell. I mean, they can kind of go based on past models to think what might do well, but like I think the Revo Max was an experiment that I thought was like a hit out of the park. And when I wrote it, I was like, I still believe that that's what surfboards are going to become in 5, 10 years. I mean, we're already starting to kind of see it with like the Machadocado. It's becoming more of a round oval. We're moving from skinny thin to thicker round and more of a symmetrical shape, um, as opposed to like a pointy nose and a wide tail. It's all becoming like a wakeboard, and I think for good measure because um, kind of like a skateboard or a snowboard, there can be some nose and tail, but if you look at skateboards, snowboards, wakeboards, they're all almost symmetrical, and surfboards are completely different with the nose and tail. So, um, it'll be. I think the Revo Max was just trying something that I think I understood what it was right away, and I think it will still be like what more boards end up looking like. But I think we're still kind of further away from that than maybe I initially thought. Um, so Miggy says everyone is selling it. Miggy agrees. Everyone's selling the Revo Max, so that sucks. And buying. Oh, everyone is selling it and buying it and selling it. Oh, true. Miggy says, no, you're cool, Travis. Mark says, it was a hard call to sell the Revo, but I'm glad I did. Raise up some funds for other boards. Miggy says, the Revo fins are great. The board needs a good wave and a good surfer. I think the board does need a little bit of a better wave than a SHIT wave. Um, it's not like a two fisher. It's kind of more like a mashup, I would say, but better than the mashup. So it actually is like it's just a daily driver. I put the Revo Max, and I wouldn't. It can grovel, but I would say it's like the daily driver unless it's waist high and below. Um, Mark saying nothing to apologize. Everyone likes different feelings from a board. Miggy's giving hundreds. He gave like 15 hundreds. Oh, Mark said he got a free set of Tomo fins. So that's did them. Good job. Good job. Miggy used the money from the Reva Max to buy a sweet potato today. Oh, shy. Oh, you did it. Oh, dang, dude, you did it. So that's why you wanted the review. So I didn't drop it in time. You couldn't wait. That's fine. Dude, it's an awesome board. A sneak peek is like the board suite, and whatever size you got, it's going to be sick. And volcanic, too. That's really sick. That's really sick, brother. Mark's saying unreal. He won't regret it. When you first lay on it, it'll feel like ish, but it performs way better than you expect. Miggsy put a sweet potato emoji and a guy serving and a party thing. He said he's kept his fins too, Mark. And he put a love sign, a heart face love sign, a smiley with a sweat, and a heart. Yeah, I agree with Mark on the sweet potato. Like, first off, you look at it, you're like, that board looks hilarious. And then you lay on the board and you're like, whoa. But then you stand up, you start riding, and you're like, oh, it's sick. And to me, it's pretty much a Machadocado on steroids. It's kind of like Machadocado 2.0. It looks a lot like it. Like I forgot the Machadocado is beefed up, and it's a sweet potato light in a sense. Um, Migs, appreciated, sir. Much appreciated. Yeah, you guys motivate me to keep this going, and I think tonight's live stream was scheduled like way too late, so we're not popping as hard as we have been. and I had a bunch of technical errors today. So people probably saw like he's live again. It's going to be a giant error. My fans are disappointed in me, but I'm so close to 12,500. Let's see, I might even have it right now. Let's see. Oh no, I still don't have it. You have to go smash subscribe if you haven't yet, because my inner child wants love. Oh no, I lost subscribers. Yeah, people are pissed. I lost like 3 subscribers today. Yeah, people got pissed at me. Dang it. Well, all right, guys. So now I need 4 subscribers because I lost 3 because I blew it. But after I get 4 more, I'll have 2,500 subscribers, and life will be the best it's ever been. Because all that matters in life is how many people are following you on the internet. So I really need this, guys. I need it bad. Trust me, I need this. Let me get back to the live chat here. So, um, Mark saying Mark and Migsy Varga. That's funny. Migsy says he watched my sweet potato preview review like 73 times before you pulled the trigger. Well, that's cool, man. Well, again, what size did you get, Migsy? And now we're in OT. We've devolved into, you're at hour 06, and you don't want to know what time it is for me. So, um, what size did you get, Migsy? And we'll probably have to wrap it up here in a few minutes because the voice is gone. It's been a huge day. It's a huge week. Huge week. The waves were firing today. It was a surprise mega sick session. So that was sick. Oh dang, Maisie got the 6-2. That's sick, dude. Maisie, that's awesome. No, Maisie, that's amazing. Like, good for you, brother. Good for you. It's like a stand-up paddleboard. There's one guy on YouTube who has a 6-2. I think he has the volcanic, and he's serving it sick. Like, and it looks awesome. If you type into YouTube, Migsy, type in like sweet potato 6-2, it might even pop up. Maybe you even watched his videos. I'm sure you have. But yeah, it's some guy who's like having a blast on it. And I might even be the 6-4. And I think the 6-2 is the biggest. Can't remember. Um, Migsy saying, "Sorry, Mark, don't judge this old kook." Dude, these boards are kook size. Like actually, when I was at Firewire getting the 510, like even the 510's even kind of pretty big, but I actually looked at some of the Twinsers, and those boards are actually big. Um, if you look at the Twinser next to the Boss Up, the Twinser is like freaking massive, and the Boss Up is way skinnier by the nose, way skinnier by the tail. And the Boss Up has actually become like I think a fan favorite and a Firewire employee favorite. I think the Twinser might surf a little more longboardy and proper mid lengthy, where the Boss Up has actually kind of become like a very maneuverable mid length. Is what one is my main Firewire kind of guy I talk to a bunch and helps me with these. Is saying he loves his 7.0 Boss Up more than the I think he only wrote a 7.2 Twinser, and like he loves the Boss Up. Just as much as boards kind of like this, and he's probably around my size. So that was interesting because I still haven't tried it, and I know Tommy Surfs rode like the 7.2, I think, or maybe the 6.8, or he rode one of them, and it did look really fun. And I'm almost funny because I was like a huge mid length proponent, but now I'm like kind of not into the mid lengths anymore. Because I feel like I can get the mid length glide on a board that's like the two fish feels like a mid length kind of. Um, so as long as you're getting enough width and space by the nose, the board doesn't have to be stretched out as much as long as you oversize it enough. Like the 6-2 sweet potato is gonna pretty much be a mid length. So good for you, Migsy. Mark says, no judgment. Just point the nose towards the beach and it'll catch the waves by itself exactly. Oh yeah, Woolly TV. Mark said, sorry, I meant Woolly TV. Woolly TV, where is that? See. I'm not sure what you meant, Mark, but yeah, I know Woolly TV just reviewed the Groove, which is kind of sick. I haven't watched it yet. Might watch it right after this. But the guys at Firewire were saying the Groove is doing well. It's kind of like they need them. They need all the models right now, but it's definitely on my radar. And people do like it a lot. And I think and he was saying like they think they did actually nail the sizing, um, in the volume and all that. And it's like great because you want the Machado feel in a shortboard, and he luckily didn't like make it too narrow, too thin, too small. Mark said he would love to try a 6.2, and Mark's on the hunt for a 6.10 boss up to use for bigger days. Maisie says, yeah, he saw the guys on bigger sizes potatoes, but it wasn't pleasant to the eye. um, Maisie said he saw Willie TV surfing today. Waves are insane and Point Break too. Travis should be there. Oh, really? You saw Willie TV in real life of celeb sighting? That's sick, dude. So you live near him? Because I'm always seeing Willie TV surf like sick waves, like no one's ever out. And I mean, I do get kind of lucky in surf spots where it's not too crowded. But like, I feel like he's surfing like spots that look like they should be crowded. No one's there, so I don't know what's going on. Oh, on YouTube. No, on YouTube. Okay. Because I know he's in Australia and he like might even be in West Oz. Um, do you guys know where Willie TV lives? But he gets some like sick spots, and like the spots he goes to, he's driving on the beach and stuff. Which that makes me think that he's in West Oz, because like I don't know of many spots like drive on the beach. Oh yeah, he's in West Oz. Yeah, he's in Shark City. Wooly. Yeah, because there's not many like spots to drive on the beach in Eastern Australia, even. But like West Oz, it's kind of like a crapshoot. Like do whatever you want, but you might die. So it's like kind of a whole different ball game. I've never been to West Oz, but pretty much you have Perth, and then the rest of it's just kind of no man's land. So it's kind of it's if you think Australia's gnarly, like West Oz like ups the ante a ton. um, yeah, Mark says I think he's in West Oz. It's Shark City, and it's hectic over there. Yeah, it makes like um New South Wales look like the Hamptons. Like it's like rocky. Like there won't be like beach access is labeled. It's kind of like, oh, you can like kind of explore. So it is kind of sick, and that makes sense why he finds like empty lineups. So good for him. But yeah, it is super sharky, and it's yeah, it's just dangerous. But what is crazy is Perth is actually getting a wave pool, a surf park, in Perth. So that'll be like a pretty big draw, because even though Perth is like a major city, it's still like not that much going on because it's in West Australia, which Australia is kind of just like someone wrote off, like, all right, that's West Oz. We're just gonna like not do much over there. It's like there's too many things that can kill you, so we'll just focus on the East Coast. But they are gonna get the surf park, so that's gonna like be I think a big game changer for tourism and all that stuff. And I think also Perth and West Oz, they really are kind of even hyper focused on conservation and kind of like they like the ruggedness and don't want to develop too many things there, um, which is cool, you know. Um, so Migsy's at the northern beaches. Beaches are very nice, but you gotta keep quiet about them and not tell everyone our secrets. So, well, all right, guys, have yapped on long enough. We're hitting the hour 15 mark. This is somewhat of a shorter stream for me lately. I've been hitting the 3 hours, really going for broke here, but it's been a long day, long week. My voice is tattered and torn. And I still gotta pop in that super smoothie and do the digestive tract. And it's late. My neighbors are not gonna like that. Mixie's saying, or Mark says, mostly only mining going over in the West. The pool will do great over there. Plenty of fly in, fly out guys with lots of money. Oh, cool. Oh, and mining, that's interesting. Oh, really? Like coal? Like, so they mine for coal and stuff? That's cool. Yeah, so maybe it's just like a natural reserve of um non-renewable resources that are still able to get. And yeah, coal's kind of funny getting oil because it's like it's a natural resource. It's just non-renewable, so it's funny. It gets like a bad rap because it's like oil's natural. It comes from the earth, but yeah, but it's just not renewable. So it's like, and I guess the emissions from burning oil are bad. So oil kind of isn't bad, but just the lack of it. There is a lot of oil, but the lack of it in the future when we run out of it, and or when you burn oil, it causes emissions and such. So, um, but it is natural. Um, oh, Mark says it's a lot of iron ore they mine. Oh, interesting, iron. Yeah, and I guess iron's like one of the most popular metals I learned recently. Like iron's kind of cheap and it has mass quantities. So it's kind of a good metal because it's cheap and not too crazy as opposed to like, even aluminum or even like other materials like carbon fiber, etc. So that's interesting. Um yeah guys, I think that's it. If anyone has any last minute questions, pop them in. But this has been the two fish versus the Machadocado. I think one is more of a flowy, you're pretty much Rob Machado spirit animal board. The other is you love avocados and you want to shred a little harder, but you're not ready for the groove yet. And maybe you like the seaside, but you want it to be more pivoty in more of that classic shortboard shape. That is the Machadocado. So both great boards. I really don't think you can go wrong with either. If Machado has shaped the board, I think he's become like a master shaper and like he's changed the game a lot. And I don't think he gets enough credit for kind of what he's done and what he's doing. And kind of like Tomo makes these shapes that are going to reshape the surfboard shaping industry. So, all right, guys, Mark, Maisie, appreciate everyone stopping in. Other viewers, thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. Mark says, thanks for the stream, mate. Look forward to seeing how the Kata goes with the Endorphins trailer. I'll keep y'all posted on that. Miggy says, good night, boys. He's got to drive home. Awesome. All right, boys. Well, see you guys next time. To other viewers, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another Hero's Journey live stream. Till next time, we out of here. Peace.